Shalom, everyone, again. This is the last night of Hanukkah, the 8th night. All 8 branches of my Hanukkah menorah is proudly displayed by tradition right by my window, facing my neighbors who are, I don't know what religion they ascribe to, if anything, but they're not Jewish. As far as I know, I'm the only Jewish home in my community here. I have not had any issues with anti-Semitism in this neighborhood, but I have in the past. I want to address the issue, what's happening right now in New York City, Governor Cuomo, what he's doing, what he's not doing, what he should be doing better in America. We hear about anti-Semitic attacks throughout Europe. We hear about terrorist attacks in Israel. We are just not connected as Americans enough to these attacks against our brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora. It doesn't matter if we are Ashkenazi, or Sephardi. It doesn't matter what denominational affiliation we find or affiliate ourselves based on our comfort zone and observance. At the end of the day, Am Yisrael Chai is Am Yisrael Chai. That we are all Jewish. We're all brothers. We're all sisters. We're all part of one big Maspoka, one big family, which is codified as Judaism. As you know, recently President Donald J. Trump blessed his beautiful family, blessed his beautiful Jewish family for updating a much needed 1964 Civil Rights Act, a clause in there about ethnicity, about creed, about race and gender, something that has been missed and has been pretty much not even discussed too much in our synagogues by our rabbis, sadly, that we are an ethnic group. We are defined as Semitics. If you do a Jewish test, all these Jewish tests are based on Semitic DNA material found in our chromosomes, one or more of our chromosomes. I have Jewish ethnicity on my father's side, for instance. Okay, we are most people, 90%, I would say, that find themselves to be observant in Judaism, even though they are not too observant. Even those people that go to high holidays, they do ascribe themselves to ethnicity because their parents, their great grandparents, and so on, generationally, are ethnic Jews. Okay. Now, Theodore Herzl was one of the first Zionists, okay? He lived in the late 1800s. He encouraged European Jewish migration to Palestine during that time frame. Actually, there's a mountain named Mount Herzl that's named in Israel for his legacy, his life. He's the one that first coined the term anti-Semitism. The reason why I did that, he wanted to bring essentially the rats out of the woodwork. He wanted to bring the rats out of the darkness, out of the closets. People that claim, they say they don't have a problem with Jews living in their neighborhood, but really hated them, if they were allowed to act on that hatred and bigotry. We know what happened in the 1960s with white on black violence. Well, now it's happening against all faiths, against Jewish people. This is not just a Muslim problem. This is not just an Islamist problem. This can be so-called black Hebrews, whatever, in New York, that just find reasons to hate anyone that looks like this, that's Caucasian. But anyway, back to Theodore Herzl, he talked about anti-Semitism and defined it. He wanted to come up with this term because he wanted to separate the wheat from the chaff. He wanted people to understand what it means to be Jewish, to be Semitic people, to be Hebrew. We used to be proud Hebrew people, proud Semitic people before Nazi used that identifier to target 6 million Jews and murder them in an attempt to wipe us off the face of the earth. Now, anti-Semitic crime is up 13% in New York City alone. Governor Cuomo has correctly called this out as acts of domestic terrorism. There was a synagogue recently that was attacked. 5 people were stabbed. Some crazy man came in during the last night of Hanukkah and with a machete. Okay, we heard about the kosher grocery store in which actually 7 people died. One was a police officer in New Jersey. The Pennsylvania synagogue that was targeted and people were murdered because they were Jewish. Folks, people target Jews because they look like this, because they wear this hat, they wear the capote, they have beards, they may have payot, whatever you look in your dictionary or Google what a Jew should look like, this is our mental image. So I'm giving you a mental image of what it looks to be Jewish. Now, if I was walking down my neighborhood or with my family or whatever on Shabbat, and if someone called me a dirty name, so what? Baruch Hashem, whatever, I'm Jew. If they come and try to attack me or try to attack my wife or family, folks, I would put my Zionist fist up their nose. I would break their nose in a heartbeat. If I saw anyone attack one of my Jewish brothers or sisters, I would leave my comfort zone of Orthodoxy, preserve life, and then go over there and cross that street and protect that Jewish person that's being attacked. Folks, I've dealt with anti-Semitism firsthand. I dealt with it in my neighborhood in South Carolina and Charleston area. I went to a lawyer to fight my HOA over this. I don't want to get into all the details. I had an issue with one company I will not mention, in which I was withheld a promotion because essentially they didn't like the way I looked. They didn't like the way I grew my hair. In fact, they made jokes of it because I looked too Jewish to them because I didn't participate in all the Christmas parties and everything else. Folks, I don't want to get into all the religious stuff. I'm talking about being Jewish. It's something who we are, okay? Just like being Japanese, like being Spanish, being German, being a Native American, being African, being whoever you are. We have the right to be who we are. We have the civil right to be proud of who we are, but based on our ethnic gender assignment, okay? We are born into our ethnicity. It's not something we make up. I've had problem with my own family, my own nuclear family, when I told them, discovered that you, my father, come from multiple ethnic Jewish bloodlines, and he refused to acknowledge that. And then he went to issues and everything else and started isolating his relationship with his firstborn. My brother referred to me as someone who's crazy. Okay, this is a multiplier effect. I have a third cousin that's going through the same issue. Once she discovered she was ethnic Jewish, she converted over to Judaism. She started going to synagogue. She started being observant. And then her other family that did not want to join her, essentially, and acknowledge or even respect her, chose to isolate her. Okay? People are isolated for many different reasons. People have disagreements, but it should not get into the point of violence, okay? And what's happening, unfortunately, you have observant Jewish women walking down the street with their children, and some guy comes and punches them in the face, okay? You have other people that are stabbed. You have other people that are being chased and calling Christ killers and everything else, okay? It's like the so-called great or not so great crusades of the 1100s, 1200s is coming back to America, okay? Governor Cuomo has a revolving door policy with these people. There was a woman recently that was let out of jail early, and she's the one that slapped a Jewish person in the face because they were Jewish. She didn't like the person for being Jewish, for looking like this, okay? And she was let out of prison. Folks, the 1964 Civil Rights Act that was received a recent update by President Donald J. Trump said that any act of violence or any form of discrimination, especially a university like Harvard University that receives public funds as taxpayer dollars, folks, any non-for-profit group or whatever receive taxpayer funds, that they would be warranted to have those funds pulled, reversed. Because if someone claims a civil right discrimination like this. Folks, if you attack someone, it is a hate crime. If you attack them that they're Jewish, that falls under the 1964 Civil Rights Act. That means the FBI has to investigate it with the police authority. It's not a simple police local issue like in New York City. Okay, yes, of course the police investigates these crimes, but the FBI has to investigate it too. Governor Cuomo, shame on you for having a revolving door policy for you refer to these as light crimes, okay? You don't want to put someone in jail for slapping someone. Folks, you need to take a standard here. You need to stand up here because it's a slippery slope. Once you allow one person to act out in their bigotry and their racism out on someone else in act of violence, folks, you can be sued You can be sued for hitting someone. You get into a bar fight, you can be sued and then be arrested, okay? The difference is if it's about Semitic hatred against a people because they're different from you, folks, that is a federal crime now, okay? And it's up for rabbis to report this to the police department. I want you to notify the local FBI affiliate here, and I want this to be a hate crime. Folks, this is not going to go away anytime soon. It's getting worse. Kudos to President J. Trump and his beautiful family for doing this for the Jewish people. It should have been done years ago, okay? But Am Yisrael High, we need to stand together against the evil of anti-Semitism. You know, people may say and close doors among other family people. I love Jews. I don't have anything against Jews. I love Israel. I support Israel. But if someone in your family says, hey, I'm an ethnic Jewish person, then suddenly they are shunned, you know, like they don't even exist. Okay? You don't get phone calls anymore. You don't get letters anymore. You don't get cards anymore. You're ignored. You're ignored. You're not invited anymore. You may not even be invited into someone's funeral. God forbid someone passes away. You're excluded. You don't have a family anymore, essentially. That's what happens when you identify yourself as being Jewish. And when you're proud, take the next step and be proud that you're Jewish. When you look like this, when you read the Torah and let people know that you are proud of being Jewish. Folks, we all need to get along. We all should get along. We all should unify among commonalities. We all have commonalities in America because we're Americans. Please get away from this hatred, okay? This is a holiday season. We just finished Hanukkah and Christmas. We're coming on a new year. Do you want to start the new year with hatred in your heart? Folks, listen, I'm not on an apology tour here. Yes, I do think the Roman Catholic Church should get on their knees and they should wear sackcloths every single Sunday until the Mashiach comes for the horrible things they have done to the Jewish people. And anyone that's affiliated with the Roman Catholic Church should apologize to the Jewish people. And the reparation not just should be money, it should be a handshake and maybe a hug and says, I'm praying for you. Okay, I would do anything for someone to reach out for my family and said, I'm praying for you. We don't have to believe in the same things, but you're my flesh and blood. I'm praying for you, and I'm praying for your daughter. I'm praying for your wife. I'm praying for your family because you are the icon of Judaism as far as what I can construe to be true in my context, my social context. Folks, have a wonderful week to come. God bless you. God bless this wonderful, beautiful country of the United States of America. Please, let's all do something together against the evil of anti-Semitism. It needs more than an individual effort. It requires a village to fight this demon called anti-Semitism. Take care, folks. Shalom Aleichem.